How many rooms are there per person in the world? If
Well,
there's eight,
there's a room you piss and shit in. There's a room that you get clean in, which is your bathroom, and then there's a place you make food. Then everything else truly is just a storage or open space for anything which isn't those ones automatically selected. Yeah.
For every human alive, there are 4 rooms.
Well, in a shared situation, yes.
2 billion rooms.
In a one bedroom little, this is where I sleep and I piss in a bucket. Then no, the other things is probably not going to be there. So the people that have made the crate house, those people have got their little waterproof crate house with the charging station and the bucket in the corner that they throw outside every morning when they wake up and gather the water in that same bucket and wash their teeth and brush their teeth and then piss in it overnight and throw it out in the morning. You know what I mean? Like those people.
Let's have a look. How many rooms are there on Earth?
Those poor people that have to live in a shanty town. Live in a little throw together.
From like bedrooms.
I don't want to be rude about it, but that's how some people have to live, mate.
Like
all the things, all
commercial
the
buildings, etc. How many rooms? Barns, garages. How many?
Because got up
enclosed.
Got interested in a special.
How many rooms are there
available? Average room. Well, yeah, I guess
estimate required.
Estimate because it'd be shortfall if there's people on the streets. You know what I mean? Like if people live in tents.
Okay, here we go.
Either shortfall in money or
number of rooms on Earth. There's a
shortfall in dwellings.
So we've got residential rooms, commercial rooms, industrial spaces, and miscellaneous. Step 2, breakdown. There's up to 8 billion average. There you go. 4 people per household variety. 4 rooms. Residential rooms equals 8 billion.
Normally would have master bedroom, toilet.
There's 8 billion residential rooms.
Ensuite and then other toilet. Yeah.
8 billion residential rooms. And then commercial or industrial spaces, assuming 1 commercial industrial room for every 10 people on average. So just under a billion. Oh, well, this is interesting. So miscellaneous room like garages, barns, storage spaces.
Special friend, AI friend now.
Yeah, 20, helping 1 per 20. So wow, about 10 billion. You know what's interesting is that rooms are residential, and then you've got like commercial and miscellaneous storage spaces, conference rooms, retail spaces, 1 per 10. That's about right. It's actually less than I thought. 9 point something billion. I think it's actually double that at least. I think it's more like 20 billion, but it's still way lower than I imagined. But when I think about it, it kind of makes sense. But then you would need, so the addressable market's way smaller than I imagined, but it's still 20 billion devices. I'd say it's about at least 20 billion you need to make of these little
brands.
And that's an interesting prospect on itself. If you're making 20 billion devices, and that's like, okay, the Starlink way, where you know that you need to build this grid, which I thought about with like SciTV and needing satellites and
hammer it in.
So if you need 20 billion devices, because you need 1 in every room to make this a certain thing work, it tells you a lot about what the device can do and what it is because of the proximity of them. Like they're quite close together. If you think about every single schoolroom, every lecture room, it didn't do it. It's probably 30, 40 billion rooms. But the thing is that like each one of these devices is within, not always, within 5 meters of each other, and all they've got to do is
the grid itself. It's
a grid, like it's a thing. So suddenly you say, well, the device doesn't just like scan a room and stuff. It has all.
It connects the rooms together. It makes the grid.
It is the grid.
It's interconnectivity.
You're like, oh, okay, we're replacing wireless devices.
True backbone is
the rooms are the backbone.
Yeah, backbone is the grid.
So every time you add a room requires, like, it's a function of the room. Rooms are like a connected space.
Reach out and touch. Create bandwidth.
Isn't that interesting? Where rooms become all these connected spaces, addressable spaces.
And then you could, like in the VR thing, I could teleport from one room to your room and be in your space. That's it.
Because it would be a full rendering.
Tele-present there. Like it would tell you that you weren't physically there, but you were tele-present to it. You could modify or you could add or create art depending on space. Virtual art, you know what I mean? It could be cycled or turned on or off. Because a lot of that headset thing will be, have your room could be practically bare, but
I look forward to it.
You got your assets, man. You can just put your assets up anywhere.
If I manage to expand beyond this room that I live in to like a space that contains a room I sleep in and a few other, it will just be, it'll be pretty empty. It's more that the VR headset that suddenly lives in a cupboard and things will just live in there. Like I'll just, that'll just suddenly be a whole room. They'll just be sitting in the room every time I go in there, just whole room. Lounge room. And the other thing in there would be like...
And that's the whole thing of the nomad life, like having that ability to be able to set your own virtual space and then do your scanning while you're in it, go anywhere and just add to the blocks, add to the little rooms,